And we're live here at the VIP show. My name is James Taylor, keynote speaker on creativity, innovation, and artificial intelligence.
And I'm Alison Burns, the ethical futurist.
Now, welcome. If you're joining us here for the very first time, whether you're on LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, wherever you are in the interwebs, welcome.
Tinterwebs.
Tinterwebs. This show is really about, we call it the VIP show. The VIP really kind of stands for interesting, very interesting.
Very interesting people.
Yeah.
Or interesting subjects.
Or companies, or businesses.
Or stuff.
Or stuff. So let's get into the first one. I'm going to put it up on the screen just now. So our very interesting business of the week is a little bit unusual. Alison, you want to take it away and I'll show what we're talking about here.
Well, I was introduced to this company. It's called La Fromagerie, which is fromagerie. So it's actually an artisan vegan cheese monger. And it's actually the first vegan cheesemonger in the UK. It's based in Brixton in London. And I came across this vegan cheesemonger when I was actually searching online. And just thought there's lots of different places where you can buy artisan vegan cheeses if you don't want to eat dairy, or if you're eating a vegan diet. And there was no one place apart from going to vegan festivals or vegetarian festivals, which there haven't been that many of them.
Not this year.
Of late. So it was actually a friend of mine who introduced me. She said, have a look at La Fromagerie in London. So and I checked them out, and I also looked at the background of how they got to where they are. And like us, like-minded people, they were looking. It was two sisters, Rachel and Charlotte Stevens. I think one of the sisters is lactose intolerant and one's vegan. And they were both looking for where to find these cheeses where they can actually have a decent cheese board without having the plastic, the kind of plasticky cheeses that you buy in the supermarket. So actually they did a lot of research, and I think they came to the decision was around about December 2018 to actually have a good look and have a think about the business plan. And they actually launched it in February 2019. So they're a fairly new company. But what I love about them is that they've kind of gone up against the odds. They've got, if you look at the website, they've got this ethical statement, and it's like they're striving to be, obviously they recognise that the future is plant-based. Not everyone would agree with that, but I certainly would. And
it's certainly a big trend. I mean, you're going from all plant-based milks now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I saw that the dairy industry has really been trying to figure out. Some of the big traditional dairy companies are now buying into almond milks and pea milks and soya milks, all these different kind of plant-based
Who would have
milks.
thought that you can get milk from a pea? But it's true. We've tasted it. It's fantastic.
So we're seeing this big move in terms of, for people, either because they want to live plant-based life, or because maybe lactose intolerant, they're changing their dietary habits. And I guess cheese was the big one, because people spend a lot of money on cheeses.
I know, and cheese. And where do you find decent artisan cheese? Well, we've actually look. This is our Christmas.
Let's show you
our Christmas special menu. This one.
So let's talk about it. So this is the menu that we got from La Fromagerie. You can go online, you can order from them. We're not incentivized in any way to promote La Fromagerie, just to let you know. But this is their plant-based selection box. This was their Christmas special. So let's tell us some of the things.
Well, what was your favorite? My favorite was the vegan Zola, which had the. Well, if you think about it, it was the sour cheese with the mold in between, like the threads of mold. It was just fantastic. And what was your favorite out there?
Well, they had the farmhouse. The smokehouse was great. That was really good. But the one that kind of was a bit unusual, it's a bit of an acquired taste, is camembert. So not camembert, camembert. And that was a really tasty cheese.
Yeah, it's like. That was lovely. You just lightly heat it up and with rosemary and garlic. But what I found interesting was when the sisters set up their shop, and the shop front in London, it's in Brixton in London, and there was a bit of a kickback from the dairy industry, and they were saying, it's going to confuse people. Are going to be confused, or what's in it? Is there going to be milk in it? And actually, there was a study by, let me just get the name right here. It's the International Food Information Council, and actually the study that they came up with was that that people are aware that vegan cheese is not going to contain dairy. So and also that was quite a high percentage. So there's no confusion in the minds of the consumers. So I think there is a kickback from the dairy industry, but they've had it their own way for such a long time. So,
but it's been interesting seeing. I know there was some challenges in the EU courts about whether certain companies could say these were burgers or sausages if they didn't have meat in them, and there was that didn't pass in the end. But I think that where I'm finding this interesting is some of the companies that either we work with or we're seeing we're buying products from them. Is they're maybe traditionally from the meat industry in one way or the other, or the dairy industry, but they're saying this is a really fast growing consumer trend just now, and they're kind of getting involved in that trend. And I think what I love about the fromagerie is like they're really going for the artisanal. So this isn't like the mass manufactured dairy free cheeses. This is like really amazing cheeses.
Oh, there's no lack of taste, and even some of our sort of meat eating friends are actually willing to give it a go because it's healthier, it's better for the environment. And
so they have this ethical statement here. I'm just going to read something. So we believe that the future is plant-based. We work hard to ensure our products are 100% free of animal products. We are reducing our environmental footprint whenever possible. And it kind of goes on from there. And this idea of an ethical, I mean, you talk about this a lot in your speeches, this idea of an ethical purpose statement. In addition to maybe companies talking about the sustainability, the environmental, looking at taking one step higher than that and actually looking from having an ethical statement as an organization.
And there we have it. Just a recently formed company doing fantastic work, great business, and also with all the COVID restrictions of late, people aren't maybe necessarily getting a chance to actually go to the store. So they've now launched and they've been delivering their cheeses online. So we've had a couple of deliveries from them, but we are totally impressed with them.
So so if you're in the UK, the company's called La Fromagerie.
Check them out.
Check them out. So that's our very interesting company of the week. Let's talk about our very interesting person of the week. Now, I haven't showed you this.
It's a surprise.
This is the first time Alison's seen this as well. I speak about creativity, innovation, artificial intelligence. I talk about this idea of super creativity, which is the idea about how, as humans now and teams, organizations, we're augmenting our human creativity with exponential technologies like AI, like machine learning, like robotics. And one that I just saw recently, and I kind of thought this is a very interesting way as an artist starting to kind of redefine themselves, is this. And her name is Valeria, and you go to @Anna Dreambrush, and let me just show you this just now, and I'll get your kind of reaction to this as well as we're kind of going through it. So she is a virtual reality artist.
Oh, wow.
So she paints in virtual reality. She wears a virtual reality headset, and she is painting and crafting these amazing artworks in virtual reality. And obviously, if everyone's not wearing VR headsets in the audience or watching, then it gets displayed onto these big screens as well. But I just love that. I mean, look at this.
So am I missing something here? So she's painting on a green screen. Is this right?
No, she's actually painting in cyberspace. She's painting. She has the VR headset on, and in her world, she creates the palette. And what's interesting about this is normally when painting, it's 2D. As an art form, but she's painting and she's creating in 3D.
Do these pieces of art still exist at the end of her artistic journey? They
do. And I mean, you can just see that, like, the creativity she's putting into here. She's doing it. So she's doing speaking events now where she's going and speaking and talking about the work that she does, and you can kind of go and experience it. So I just think this is interesting, where artists are using a new technique, a new tool, a new technology to create in different ways. Still, she has a traditional art background. She's Russian, I believe, in France for many years, in the south of France, but she's just doing this really cool artwork. I like the little cat there. I just noticed the cat here as well.
So what happens to her pieces of art? Do they exist in digital form and people can buy them, or did they just evaporate? I'm not sure how that works.
Well, I guess it's like when you create a piece of music, and you do a recording, for example,
put it out there.
It exists as in digital bits and bytes now as well. That's the format for it. But you can do things like this, where you can actually walk in. If an audience member or someone is going to that exhibit of her work, they can put on a set of VR headsets and they can walk around
Walk
the artwork.
into the art.
They can walk into the artwork, walk around the artwork, look
Become
under the
part
artwork.
of the art.
So you're part of the artwork as well. So her name is Valeria, and if you go to Anna Dreambrush and you go to YouTube, she's got some of her videos here as well. But I just thought,
there's the Queen's Gambit.
Queen's Gambit, exactly. Yeah. Look at that.
Wow, that's amazing.
How cool is that?
I love that. I just love the way that she presents as well.
Yeah.
And she's actually, it's very artistic the way that she actually paints in that virtual world. If you look at it, it's almost like a dancer.
It is.
She's her movement's fantastic. So she's very creative in the way that she moves. So she's actually becoming Frida Kahlo, of course.
Yeah. So there you go.
Amazing. I love that.
That's my very interesting person.
That is very interesting.
Of the week, and we'll put some links here as well afterwards, so you can go in if you want to check.
Can you
out
buy her
artwork? You can buy her artwork. I think what she's getting booked for more now is almost to go to speak at events, conferences, where she'll create an artwork. She's talking about her creative process, and then she's painting at the same time. A little bit like there's another speaker called Eric Weil from America who does it, where he's painting as he speaks on stage. This is kind of just taking it to the next level with it. So there you go. That's our very interesting person.
That was very interesting. That was very.
Let's talk about our interesting things.
What are our interesting things?
Okay, so this is just something that we find interesting. I'm going to show you this because as you can see, as I'm looking here at the screen at the moment, every so often I'm occasionally squinting, and I probably need to wear glasses just now. But I've noticed, like, you wear glasses, and you have reading glasses, you have glasses if you're doing like driving, and so you have to kind of put these glasses on and off. So it's frustrating. It's frustrating. So the CES conference, which has been happening in Las Vegas or virtually this week, they launched a new type of reading glass or glasses, and these are by a company called Voy. And the interesting thing about these glasses is you buy them, and there's a little switch on the side, and you can vary the focus of the glasses. So suddenly, those reading glasses could become driving glasses. You don't have to have two pairs of glasses. I think maybe they're going to have switches where you automatically get pre-settings. So it recognizes when it does your eye tests, it recognizes maybe that's setting 1.
It's very clever.
But when you're driving, this is setting 2. This is like fancy varifocals, I guess. So would you buy a pair of glasses like these?
Would I buy them?
Well,
if I'd like to try them,
I
would like to try them because it's annoying just having to switch glasses up.
Maybe not. Let us know leave on the comments here below if these are something that you would go and get if you buy some of these Voy glasses. So that's my very interesting product of the week. Let's talk about yours next, which is something about masks. So let me pull this up.
Yeah, I've been looking at some of the, because we've all been wearing masks, 2020 going into 2021. And I was thinking, how does that affect things like facial recognition? Because you're only seeing part of the face. So I did a bit of research, and it turns out there's a business company in Tokyo called NEC, and they've been pioneering this technology in relation to recognizing people through the facial recognition, but beyond the mask, so above the mask. So it's just capturing
those
eyes.
The
eyes. But it's quite controversial because if you think about how companies and universities are all doing research on, and I see this as two parts: the research on facial recognition, and also the rollout of it, and so there's inbuilt biases in relation to the research and how it actually measures and facially recognizes people. So it turns out that a lot of the facial images are scraped from the internet, and they're really not being used with permission. So it's quite...
There was a famous one, they use a lot of training data. They'll put in images in this training data, and then they have to kind of destroy the training data afterwards, or it has to be approved with the training data as well. So I guess because we've seen so many things happening recently, riots and various events, and everyone's wearing masks when they go into shops now as well. So this is an interesting piece of technology. But I guess there's a big ethical question about who has the rights.
Well, exactly. And also as well, there was the London Metropolitan Police. They did a trial, as it were. So they went out their van and they captured images from people walking down the street, but I think it was Essex University. They analysed 6 of the trials, and it turned out that there was quite a big margin of error in relation to matching people's faces as they were captured as they were walking down the street, in relation to a bank of images of, say, criminals or people that were on the watch list. So the errors there, the errors. But what makes a policeman jump out a van and go and cuff someone and say you're bang to rights, you know, because something in their van matches a vehicle? But there was quite a lot of errors, and that was the one thing that was concerning obviously sociologists and legal experts in relation to how this technology is used in the future.
And do I have a right to be forgotten? Let's say if I walk past a CCTV camera and it captures my footage, how long are they keeping that video footage there? If it's like a fingerprint, if I go and get my fingerprints done, then how long will they keep those fingerprints?
Interesting that you say fingerprints, because things like biometrics, it's easy to do a one-on-one match, what I mean by that is when you've got your passport and you've got your face, and they can match. You're going through the airport and you're sliding your passport for that match of the image against the picture, and that's easy to match. That's accurate. But what happens when it's one on many? But even when it came to the early technology, when it came to telephones and opening up your iPhone with a visual, with your facial recognition, it was easy to just take a picture and use the owner's picture and open up that phone. Well, obviously that was the early stages. However, where the technology is going now is they're looking to actually recognize skin texture as a way to recognize. So it's almost like not a fingerprint, a face print, a skin print. No, the skin print. And because people always work around these things, so they're also trying to combat high quality face masks.
Oh, that's
creepy. That's really creepy. That's
strange. Like the kind of thing you see in like these James, or there was a kind of James Bond movie where they take the face off,
exactly.
or Jack Reacher movie.
You put someone else's face on to unlock the door of their house, so you could go in. But however, the technology is going deeper than that, and it's looking for skin texture, which is amazing. But then if you think about that, so it's really powerful technology, but also in the hands of people who are building it. But all these inbuilt biases, in terms of it maybe has a higher recognition of white male, but when it comes to gender, ethnics, racial recognition, it's not really demographically. It's not. Or
something maybe it's just training data is not wide enough. It's not diverse enough, and then that's causing.
It's honestly people who build these systems. And where do their assumptions lie when they're building these things?
So facial recognition with masks. That's your very interesting thing of the week. We hope you've been enjoying this show. This is the VIP show. And please leave any comments below. We're always looking for new ideas for future episodes.
And we will have guests.
And we're going to have some guests coming on very soon as well. So just keep an eye out for that. We thought we'd do these first couple of shows, try a couple of different things, and then bring on some guests at some point as well. So there you go. My name is James Taylor, and thank you so much for watching today.
And I'm Alison Burns. Thanks for coming along, and hopefully we'll see you next week for another episode of the VIP show, which is very interesting, people.
Very interesting.